Hi guys, this is Alex with the Dicey Situation, and I'm going to go over Gloomhaven today. Specifically, a general idea of how the game works and some of my favorite mechanics about it. Okay, so when you first start the game, you'll always reference this map, this awesome map that the game came with. All right, and you will find the most recent unmarked location in the game. If this was your first game, it would be Roadside Ambush, but because I'm on Scenario 3, I would be starting the game at the Black Ship. Okay, and this is how the game would look. I mean, I'm not completely finished with setting it up, but this is just a general idea of how that would look. You're going to be placing miniatures on the board on the locations indicated. Alright, so these are the heroes, these are the enemies. You might be placing traps, you might be placing coins in specific locations, treasures in specific locations. And after you populate this map that the scenario book comes with, you're going to be reading the introduction, getting an idea of the story, any special rules, and getting an idea of the objective of the game. Alright, and you'll win the game if you meet the objective, or you'll end it if you lose the game by maybe getting exhausted, or maybe your characters are defeated in combat. But from here on, it really comes down to combat between you and the enemies that the game comes with. And combat is very simple. Each player is going to be dealt a hand of cards. These cards have actions and initiative numbers. The types of actions that your characters can do is attack. You know, they have attack actions, they have movement actions, they have a lot of different actions they can do. They can move around the board to do specific objectives. And you'll determine what action you want to do by looking at yourself in relation to enemies and other objectives around you. And really from there, you're going to determine the timing that you would do those actions. The game comes with an initiative system that helps you do that, right? And that's it. That's most of how Gloomhaven works. There's a lot more to this game. I just went over the general idea of how it works. But yeah, I want to quickly go over some of the things I like about it. So this is a puzzle dungeon crawl. Most dungeon crawls, you're going to be rolling dice. In this game, you're going to be using cards. You're going to be looking at where you are, puzzling out what you want to do with the choices available to you, and determine the most effective and efficient thing you can do. Because over time, the game will you will lose the game if you run out of cards. So you want to be effective in everything you do in this game. You have to be very efficient. So that puzzle aspect of the game is super important. And one thing that makes that strategic is the initiative on top of just the actions. All right? Initiative, there is timing in the game. So sometimes going first is not the best solution. Sometimes you want to go last. So sometimes you want to choose a high initiative to go last. Sometimes you want the enemy to go closer to you before you do a specific action. Sometimes you do want to place yourself in first place so that you can be the first to block a position on the board before the enemy does, for example. So yeah, the timing of the actions is important, and it is part of the strategy in the game, and that's something that I have seen in other games. That timing aspect, it's usually turns are concrete in other dungeon crawlers. You know, I go first, we all go first. I mean, I go first, somebody goes second, and so on, and that's written in stone. And it goes in cycles. Here, you are always adapting to your current situation and finding out what's the best plan is. Always thinking ahead and thinking about cause and effect. So that's something I love about this game. Something else I like about the game is the modifying deck. Usually games like this include dice. This game doesn't. This game comes with a deck of modifying cards. These cards amplify your attacks. Sometimes they make them weaker. But over the course of the game, as you play the game in time, not just in session, but over days and scenarios, this deck will improve. The worst cards in this deck will eventually go away. Sometimes you'll place better cards in the game. So it's like a die, but with character development. And before this game came out, I don't think there was a game like it. I mean, there might have been a game, but you guys can correct me in the comments below. But dice have always been the driving force behind combat in other games. It's nice to see a progressive mechanic when it comes to that. So those are my two favorite mechanics of the game. That the fact that we're working with a progressive modifying deck here, and the fact that timing plays a huge role in combat. So yeah, I hope you get to try the game. If you want to learn more specific rules, like I said, there are better YouTubers out there that can help you with that. But hopefully this gave you a general idea of what to expect on a scenario to scenario basis. Thanks for watching. This is Alex with the Dicey Situation. I'll see you next time.